In the heart of modern Nigeria, in a bustling town where the old and the new danced uneasily together, there was once a wedding that was never meant to be. But this is not a tale of love. This is a tale of betrayal, broken promises, and the dark price that comes with playing with people's hearts. Today, we take you into the world of two families, a world where love was tangled in lies, and the bonds of blood were not enough to shield anyone from the consequences of betrayal. This is the story of Ranti Olainka, a woman caught between two powerful men, and the secrets that tore her life apart. It was meant to be the happiest day of her life. Ranti Olainka, the beautiful daughter of a wealthy family, was moments away from marrying Mofe Ige, a man she had loved for years. But Mofe wasn't there. The guests waited, her parents waited, everyone waited. But Mofe Ige, the groom, did not show up. And as the hours passed, whispers began to ripple through the crowd. Where was Mofe? Why wasn't he here? And then the truth came out. Mofe wasn't at the wedding because he was here with Morayo, Ranti's cousin. Morayo had been in an accident, or at least that's what Mofe believed. And in a moment of weakness, he rushed to her side, leaving Ranti alone on their wedding day. But why was Mofe here with the woman he once loved and not with the woman he was supposed to marry? Morayo, with tears in her eyes, told Mofe that she needed him, that her wrist was hurt, and that she couldn't manage on her own. And Mofe, always the hero, stayed. But little did he know, this decision would unravel more than just his wedding. It would unravel everything. Years before, Mofe and Morayo had been deeply in love, but Morayo's father, Kehinde Adebayo, had forbidden the relationship. You think you can marry a nobody? He had said. Morayo, torn between love and duty, had walked away, but Mofe never forgot her, and deep down, neither did Morayo. Now, on what was supposed to be his wedding day, Morayo was back in his life, pulling him into the past that Ranti knew nothing about, or so Mofe thought. Back at the wedding hall, the guests are growing restless. Ranti stands at the altar, her phone in her hand. She dials Mofe's number again, but there's no answer. Her face is calm, but her eyes are filled with quiet fury. Ranti knew something was wrong. The whispers had reached her ears. Morayo was back in town, and not just back, but with Mofe. Her Mofe. But Ranti wasn't the type of woman to cry. She wasn't the type to beg. No, Ranti Olayinka was a woman who made decisions, and that's exactly what she did. As the wedding guests whispered, Ranti made a call, but not to Mof. This time, she called Leke Adeyemi, the man her parents had always wanted her to marry, the man who had loved her in secret for years, the man who could take Mofe's place and do it without hesitation. Leke Adeyemi had always been in love with Ranti, but she had chosen Mofe. He had stepped back, letting them be, though it had burned him inside. But now, Ranti was calling him, and not just to talk. She was offering him the one thing he had wanted for years, her hand in marriage. Without a second thought, Leke accepted. I'll be there in an hour, he said. And in that moment, Ranti's fate was sealed. The groom had been replaced. Back in Morayo's apartment, Mofe stands up, pacing nervously. He looks at his phone, finally realizing how late it is. He knows he has to go, but as he turns to leave, Morayo speaks. Morayo, weakly, Mofe, don't leave me. Stay, Atef, for just a little longer. Mofe was torn. He wanted to be with Ranti. He loved her. But there was something about Morayo, something that pulled him back. He had never been able to fully let go of her. And now, on the day of his wedding, he was faced with the same choice all over again. But this time, Mofe made the wrong decision. He stayed, and when he finally reached for his phone to call Ranti, it was too late. Her line was busy. Ranti had moved on. Lake stood tall and proud next to Ranti, his heart racing with excitement. He was finally going to marry the woman of his dreams. But Ranti's heart was elsewhere. She wasn't marrying for love. She was marrying to prove a point, to show Mofe that she didn't need him, that she would never wait for anyone who betrayed her. Mofe had lost everything. In his moment of weakness, he had let Morayo pull him back into the past. And now the future he had dreamed of with Ranti was slipping away before his eyes. But this wasn't the end. No, Mofe wasn't done yet. He had made a mistake, but he wasn't going to let Ranti go so easily. The wedding was over. Ranti had made her choice. But Mofe wasn't ready to let her go. Not yet. The story was far from over. And as the skies darkened over the city, Mofe made a vow of his own. He would win Ranti back, no matter what it took, no matter what he had to do. Mofe could barely contain the storm brewing inside him. Watching Ranti with Leke was like watching his heart being torn apart. This was supposed to be his wedding, but now Ranti had made her choice, and Mofe's betrayal wasn't something she would easily forgive. But Mofe had made a decision of his own. This wouldn't be the end. He would fight for her. He had to fight for her, no matter how far he would have to go. Ranti wasn't sure if she had made the right choice. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. Lick was charming, rich, and powerful, but deep inside, her heart still ached for Mofe. No matter how hard she tried to ignore it, the pain wouldn't go away. Had she rushed into this new marriage out of anger and pride? Leke's words stung Ranti, but they were true. She couldn't deny that Mofe's betrayal had wounded her deeply, but there was something about Mofe, something that still held a piece of her heart captive. Mofe could barely contain the storm brewing inside him. Watching Ranti with Leke was like watching his heart being torn apart. This was supposed to be his wedding, but now Ranti had made her choice, and Mofe's betrayal wasn't something she would easily forgive. But Mofe had made a decision of his own. This wouldn't be the end. He would fight for her. He had to fight for her, no matter how far he would have to go. Meanwhile, Lick and Ranti return home, entering a luxurious penthouse apartment. As they step into the dimly lit room, Lek, proud and confident, pours a glass of champagne for Ranti, who stands silently by the window, staring out at the city below. Leke said softly, "We did it, Ranti. We showed Mofe that you don't need him. I'm the man you deserve." But Ranti remains silent, her face unreadable. She takes the glass from Leke and sips slowly, her thoughts far away. The city lights glisten outside, but her mind is clouded with doubt. Ranti wasn't sure if she had made the right choice. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. Leke was charming, rich, and powerful, but deep inside, her heart still ached for Mofe. No matter how hard she tried to ignore it, the pain wouldn't go away. Had she rushed into this new marriage out of anger and pride? Ranti glances at Leke, who is smiling confidently. She knows he loves her. But was love enough to erase the past? Leke walks over to Ranti and gently places his hand on her shoulder, sensing her distant mood. Like said calmly. You're still thinking about him, aren't you? Ranti doesn't answer immediately, but her silence speaks volumes. Like said more sternly. Ranti, you're mine now. Mofi is part of the past. He doesn't deserve your tears. You made the right choice, and you know it. Ranti finally turns to face him, her voice steady but hollow. I made a choice, Licky, but that doesn't mean the past disappears. Mofi and I had something I thought was real. Leak with an edge. Real? He left you at the altar, Ranti. You deserve better than that. Leek's words stung Ranti, but they were true. She couldn't deny that Mofe's betrayal had wounded her deeply. But there was something about Mofe, something that still held a piece of her heart captive. Ranti sighs, turning back toward the window. Maybe you're right, Leke, but even if Mofe is the past, it doesn't mean forgetting is easy. This is where our story truly begins, a tale of love, betrayal, and the desperate lengths people will go to reclaim what they've lost. But in this game of hearts, no one comes out unscathed. Stay with us for the next part in this gripping tale where love turns to obsession and no secret stays buried for long. The story has only just begun. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on the next part of this captivating story. Thank you for joining us on this journey of betrayal, courage, and redemption.